Yeah, so I don't have a lot to say before just launching into this one, so oh wait! What the hell is that? It's a Patreon! You guys should totally go there! I'm sorry for that shameless plug, I just thought it would be funny considering that there's not really a preamble to this one. It's Legacy United Rock Guy number 2. I can't remember the names on these dudes. Why is his name not, like, Obsidiizer or something like that? And how was the dude made out of lava not called Ignis? That's a fire guy's name. If they were trying to name the whole line after rocks, why didn't they just call it the Igneous universe? Why are these guys so damn weird? But first, your likes! Please give. And if you enjoyed this video by the end and you aren't subscribed already, please consider it. Right, his name was Magneous. Why is his name Magneous? Why was the one guy who looked like he was made out of magma called Bouldercrash, while the guy who looks like he's made out of a bunch of boulders is called Magneous? 2 in a row? Really? 2 in a row? Why are these rock dudes so much weirder than them just being made out of rocks should allow? And this dude is even weirder than Magneous. No, fuck Bouldercrash. I swear to God they switched the names on these two. Magneous here is weird as hell, but also pretty cool looking. I mean, I have to ask why he's wearing the world's tightest girdle that's putting the girls on display so heavily as to make even Black Arachnia envious. But we are one observation in, and it's already super weird. Not because of any of the stuff that I just said, which on any other figure would already be leaving me questioning my sanity. But no, the truly baffling thing that they've done here is leave a cavernous hole in his chest between the titties. And I probably shouldn't be using the word cavernous because it's too complimentary to this thing. Cavernous would mean that they understood the assignment. If this looked like a weird little cave in his chest, we're good, we're happy. Unfortunately, just like with the Bouldercrash, they didn't sculpt this like rock. It's just a square tunnel in his chest. Come on, guys! All you had to do was sculpt this the same way you already did the rest of him, and we'd be good. This thing is an igneous nigma. That was a really, really bad pun, and I'm so sorry for inflicting it on all of you. Okay, so, titty's weird. What else is weird about this? Because it can't all be that weird, right? It's a weaponizer. That doesn't weaponize. You can pull his arms off and give another figure arms.
And nothing.
That's it! That's the limit! That's what this guy does! Well, okay, you can take the backpack and give another figure a backpack. Unless this is like the world's most extra blow dryer. And you can take off his little wing thingies on his arms and put them on another figure. And now they have schmutz on them. You can fight the wheels off the sides, which, based on the way it looks, I am not convinced is intended, and you can put them in very few spots on other figures, because these peg in 2 places. So good luck finding anything with dual peg holes this exact distance apart. And lastly, you can take his shins. And do nothing with them. Nothing! They have proprietary tabs meant for only this guy! Why is this thing so fucking weird? What am I supposed to do with the fronts of someone's shins, Hasbro? What do you want from me? To rest these on the back of some other vehicle and pretend that they're extra seating for giants? Or maybe they're roller coaster seats and the vehicle is just one of those cutesy fake cars that you ride around in for theming. Have I yet to prove that this thing is weird as fuck? Are the arms just there so that way we can reenact the 3rd issue of the new Transformers comic and beat someone to death with a severed limb? Also, I can peg the arms on the opposite side so they have less articulation and the hands are going the wrong way. Finally! And here's the thing, if he didn't do any of that stuff, I wouldn't blame the figure at all. I'd just be like, oh hey, there's a normal toy. But it is here, so I'm forced to wonder why. Was this all just included as an assault against sanity? Has some dark cabal infiltrated Hasbro and is using them as a vessel by which to batter our minds into a ripe sludge ready to be consumed by abyssal gods? No wonder they're a multi-billion-dollar company who's terrible at making money. It must not be the point. This would be a badass robot mode that could clobber most others in its size bracket. And instead of being able to enjoy that, it forces me to sit here in abject confusion, pondering just what motherfucker's idea it was to put these on unique tabs, preventing them from being used anywhere else! Can we find them? I want to go find them! Also, is there, like, any paint on this thing? Is it just his windows and kneecaps? This is the grayest Transformer ever. Movie figures have more color than him. To be fair, this random pile of gray rocks looks better than any movie character. You know, unlike a lot of reviewers, I rarely ever antagonize the movie fans. However, sometimes you're just required to by the circumstances, and I make no apologies for it. Head is goddamn cool. He looks like what if Grimlock was evil and also the meteor that killed the dinosaurs. Got some incredible baddie energy, and I'm about it. I feel like he's reminding me of something from the Ninja Turtles, but that could just be the shell on his back and the fact that his helmet is like 10% reminiscent of the Shredders. Maybe there's some Sharkticon vibes in here, I don't know. The head really ties in well with the body, and overall I think this design is really good, but I am infuriated by how weird this thing is. I can't even rip you in half and give your pants to someone else. This is a fucking crime. As for accessories, if you don't count all that bullcrap that I just talked about in robot mode, then he just comes with Judge Pickell. Truly, Takara needs an English dictionary that they are required to consult every time they try to name something in English. But yeah, it's a flat piece of plastic with 2 pegs. Maybe it's kind of a cattle prod or something. It's not great. And since in the last video I didn't bother with it, I may as well put it here, because I realized that I do have something to say about it. People think that in Fraternacons, Bouldercrash's weapon mode is lame and useless. But I don't know. I think I'd be terrified of someone trying to poke me with bloody poop. Anyways, the posing is almost great. Head has a very tight swivel and can tilt up on its plate, shoulders pull a little bit more than a 90, normal 90 elbows, wrist swiv and narcissorists, and wrist swiv on the narcissorists. Such luxury! Hips are slightly impeded forward and unimpeded to the side and back, and feet with a massive toe up, a moderate toe down, and a moderate pivot. So most of this is slightly above average, and none of it is below it. It's good posability with great knees and a specialty joint in the hand that gives them a lot more to do than most. Transformation is pretty basic and extremely clunky. You kind of have to pull back on both arms at the same time to free the chest, and there's no great way to do that, so you find yourself often just cranking on the figure and nothing's really happening in an oddly frustrating way. On mine, for the first several conversions, flipping the head and one of the tires in took insane amounts of force, like legitimately hurt my fingers' force. They eased up after the first few times, but it's still something to think about if you're planning on giving one to a child and it winds up like mine. They will not have the strength to do this on their own for at least the first several go-throughs. The backpack likes to pop off, and the one creative part of this transformation where the hands hinge down and spin to form parts of the sides is both interesting as well as very unfun. And the end result is what was described to me by Paper Samurai 00 in the comments as the Flintstones SWAT-mobile. And no notes, that is the perfect description. Why am I even here when you guys can make observations that entertaining on your own? So this is kind of making up for the robot mode being something meant to drive us into the depths of insanity in a big way. It's fun, it's weird in a way that does not make me violently angry, and it looks like if it rams someone even Optimus' size, he will win. Though I don't know that this is helping. It rolls good, and something about the differences between Bouldercrash and this here makes me think that it won't make a sound that rends my soul while doing around. And honestly, it's here where what little parts forming this does actually comes into play at all. Because while this absolutely does not combine with the Junkions like you think would be the point, because apparently God hates us, removing parts from this can change the overall look. Pulling the side thingies off turns it into a slightly more standard truck, and then you can pull the shin feet combo off the back and turn it into a pickup truck. This at least gives some value to that function. Though, again, why aren't these standard pegs? If they were, we could do something with this. We could add parts, we could customize this. We could move the cab to the back and turn it into some kind of Batmobile. But no, we just aren't allowed awesome things, so that part falls off if we try, because for some reason no one would expect that we would want to. What happened to your brains, designer? Where did they go? Is this really the best that we can hope for with this thing? The suicide ram? Hey everyone, pile in! We're going to run into a brick wall and end our suffering! Honestly, it kind of looks like that one Volkswagen GoBot. You know, the awful one? You can take his feet parts and peg them into his pickaxe and put them on top and... Why should I do this? There's no fucking reason! This guy only parts forms so that way we pull off two pieces and turn him into a pickup truck, or play pretend that we left him in the bad part of town. Maybe with the ports that pulling stuff off this guy frees up, you can add some of the Junkions to him, but I should not have to work this hard to be creative with a thing where that's supposed to be the whole point. And again, it doesn't need to do that to be a good toy, but I'm left in utter bewilderment as to why it is the way that it is. Because this is the most 1% hearted parts former in this whole subcategory of figure. It seems like it parts forms not to be useful, but because it's expected to, and it really doesn't want to. The moody teenager of parts forming. Also, the cab isn't pegged on super well in this mode, and while writing this script I picked it up. Doing so caused my pointer finger to put pressure on the cab, causing it to fire off like it was spring-loaded, and it hit me right in the eye. This thing literally just tried to blind me. Anyways, it's a good, if deeply perplexing mode, and overall a good figure, if you just try to take it on its merits as a figure. It's a pretty badass looking guy, or maybe girl, with that ragged waist, I can't tell. Though it does have that really ugly hole right between its knockers. Maybe it could use more paint, give it something to spice it up, but I don't think it's in desperate need of that. It poses better than normal, so no complaints there. The transformation is like a 5. If it was less clashy and frustrating, it could have been a 6, but overall I don't hate doing it, I just go, oh, that was almost good. And then the alt mode is pretty cool and fun. I'm super down for this concept. I'm also incredibly disappointed that I can't just slap a rock engine on a Junkion body or something like that. It doesn't make sense why it operates the way that it does. I like it, it's a good deluxe, but god damn, it is just weird! And that's not half what I have to say, but it's enough what I have to say. And I know, you know, what everyone else tells you to do at the end of these videos. So, if you liked what you saw here, please do that. And if you'd like to take it a step further, then please, share this video with any friend you think may be interested. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me waste your time.